at this point in time, I'm honestly embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed for you the same way I was embarrassed for the Tea Party folks when they showed up with all those tea bags hanging off of their hats, and then they called themselves tea baggers. Like, I was watching that back in the day going, oh my God, these fucking people have no idea what they're talking about. And then it was explained to them what teabagging was, and they went, well, we never called ourselves teabaggers, and then we went, here are the videos of you calling yourself teabaggers. Anyway, sorry. The daddy obsession it's given off secondhand embarrassment. I'm embarrassed for you. This guy didn't just say, Tom Trump's your daddy. He also followed it up with, your mom loves Trump. And that second follow-up quote's going to be embarrassing for you in just a minute, but let's just start with the daddy part. I already did a video on who my daddy is. You can watch it. It's still up on my page. My dad's actually, he's back there on the shelf. At least his ashes are. My father passed away some time ago. Right before the onset of Trumpism. He passed away. Thank God he didn't live to see an America where it was stupid enough to elect Donald Trump twice. But no, Trump is definitely not my daddy. As far as my mother loving Trump, I mean, I don't know if you believe in an afterlife. You could say that she's somewhere in an afterlife. She's been dead for some time too. You could say that she's in an afterlife loving Trump, but that's really not a flex, my guy. That tells me that you're new to my page. So let me get you caught up. Let me tell you why bragging about my mom potentially loving Trump, which I doubt she ever would, but why bragging about the fact that she ever could is not really the flex you think it is. See, my mom had undiagnosed mental illness. When I was 8 years old, my parents divorced. The way that they divorced was my mom was fucking the accountant, like openly. And she wanted to get rid of my father, so they had some divorce papers drawn up. And my mother got my father drunk one night and had him sign some insurance papers. And he woke up the next morning on his front lawn. We lived in North Lake, Illinois, just outside the city of Chicago at that point in time. I say we, I mean my father, my mother, myself, and my one and only blood sibling. I have a stepbrother and a stepsister, but I only have one blood sibling. He's a brother 5 years younger than me. My father woke up on the front lawn of that house. Locks had been changed. His clothes were next to him. And the divorce papers that he signed while drunk were nailed or pinned, whatever, to the front door. In him, he gave up the house, custody, everything. I mean, they didn't have anything. The house was a fucking shithole. We were dirt fucking poor. Every car we owned was used. We all wore hand-me-down clothes, and only hand-me-down clothes unless you got it as a gift for your birthday or Christmas. A lot of nights we went to bed with no food because there just wasn't. Not like 4 or 5 nights a week, but more than a child should ever have to go to bed hungry. So that's how the two of them got divorced. My father woke up divorced. My mother had myself and my brother at her sister's house in Ohio, and that's how he learned that he was divorced. From that point on, from the age of 8 to the age of 13, when I ran away from my mother's house, my mother beat the shit out of me. Never laid a hand on my brother, but beat the shit out of me. When I say beat the shit out of me, I don't just mean gave me a whooping. I mean, beat the shit out of me, right? I mean, examples that I've given in other videos that I'll give to you here again today. I dropped a gallon of milk on the way home from the 7-Eleven. My punishment for that was I was made to strip completely naked and lay down face first or belly first on the couch so that my mother can sit at the end of the couch and hold my arms over the arm of the couch as I was stretched out like this, so that her boyfriend, the accountant she was fucking, could take his belt and beat my lower back and ass until my skin ripped open. I think I was 9 when that happened. I once got beat with a transition strip, the metal strip that transitions from one room to another. When my mother got tired of me having to explain to other adults all of my new bruises, I fell down the stairs a lot as a child. My mother took to punishing me by having me put my arms behind my back, and then she would slip her arm in between my looped arms and my torso, so like my body was a shield and my arms were the straps, and then she would lift me up onto my toes, and she would drive her fist into my lower back because the bruises were more easily hidden. When she died in her sleep, she died in a literal pile of garbage. If I showed you the pictures, you'd be astonished. You'd be disgusted. A stained, nasty, disgusting mattress, no sheets, and literal garbage on the side of the bed she didn't sleep on, and on both sides of the bed itself, piled up on the floor higher than the goddamn nightstands. She had undiagnosed mental illnesses. And despite the fact that I continued to tell her family about her mental illness from the age of 13 when I ran away from her house on, and nobody did anything about it. As a matter of fact, everybody told me I should stop talking about my mother that way. How could you possibly talk about your mother that way? And then they find her in that pile of fucking trash. Yeah, none of them have stepped up to say a fucking word. You want to know why? Because they know I was right. Because they know they turned their back on mental illness for fucking decades. Decades. So if that's the woman that you want to brag about being a Trump fan, not really the flex you thought it was it? I mean, it tracks with what we see from other Trump fans, sure, but not really the the gold star, the blue ribbon you thought you were going to earn there, right? And your mom loves Trump. You can have the bitch.